How you doing, guys? I have a bunch of refinished titanium to show you, all Chris Reeve knives. Very excited to show these off. So we'll start off first with the Zon. This was a refurbished, so it was beat and banged up a little bit, and the client here just wanted the factory rougher bead blast finish back. See if we can get that to show. So that's the rougher finish, and then also put a nice edge on it. And that's all freehand. Very sharp. Alright, and then for the same client, he wanted his large micarta with that nice glass bead, which is the glass bead satin finish. So this was had a few carry marks and everything. And if anybody's worried about these striations here in the micarta, it will go away as soon as you start carrying and using it. If you want it to go away immediately, just put some mineral oil or any kind of lube on there, any kind of oil, and it'll darken right up. But I kind of like it in this fresh blasted look here. I'm not sure if you can see that finish. So the lineup today is a pretty good representation of what I can do to refinish titanium. There you can see, like, that's a matte finish, and then that's kind of like a satin. And these finishes also matter when you go to anodize. So if you want a nice deep color, you would do the rough blast. And if you want the brighter color, you would do this satin blast here. And if you want the brightest color, you would do like a mirror polish. So also sharpen this one as well. Again, all these edges today will be the free-handed edge, kind of like the standard, but it's still really accurate and sharp. I honestly would probably put my freehand edge up against any wicked edge. It's just the one thing about a free-handed edge over the wicked edge is it's slightly convex. But anyways, there you go. This is a Nuked 21 with a leather lanyard on here. I think I'm just going to start tying all these on the Nuked knives, and then if you guys don't want them, or maybe just request to not have it, because I think it fits the overall package so nice. And then they break in like this one, so they become real loose and pliable after you carry them, or maybe even a week. But right now they just look a little stiff and lifeless. Anyways, you guys have seen all this before. Beautiful. The rundown on the nukes, I might as well go ahead and get that underway. Actually, I'll do that after I show the knives here. Large 21, I'll show that finish one more time. And then I'll give a rundown of exactly what the nuked finish is, and possibly even some cost. So anyways, here is a lefty in Singo. It was really bizarre putting this knife back together because my muscle memory just wanted to start putting it together as a right-handed knife. It was funny. So if you ever put the Sebenzas apart, you know it's got like a female part and then the male part. Well, I was trying to feed the bolts through the display scale here, which is not, I mean, it would have worked, but it's not really how a Sebenza goes together. The male barrels are supposed to come off the back locking side. Right, so it was just funny. I had to take it down and redo it once I noticed I had the female barrels on the display side here. But anyways, get a look at the finish. And sorry if this color is not on. I am out of space on my camera, the good camera. Showing off the edge there. love this finish. And I had a client contact me, and he wanted to do a large micarta, nuke it, but you know, I said I didn't see a problem with it at all. But just to be sure, I went ahead and bronze anodized mine, just because I wanted to see if the micarta for some reason would draw voltage off the titanium, because if it did, then you wouldn't get a nice even anodize all the way up to the scale. You see this just has a little bit of grease on it, which is why you may see these a little bit of different color here. I could either put grease in there and even it all out, or I could take some Windex and it would all brighten up to that real bright bronze. But anyways, I just left it like this. I might nuke it later. This is my Sabenza. Just kind of neat to see one anodized. I don't know if I've ever seen one anodized. But once I knew it was a go, and it was perfectly fine to anodize the inlays, we went ahead and did his, which this may be my favorite Chris Reeve knife to date, just because it's got so much everything right. Let's check this thing out. Oh man, Nuked in Singo, large micarta. That is awesome. I think the micarta took really well to the nuking. And also, this looks a little bit washed out. If you want to keep it this light gray look, you can use like a dishwashing detergent, and that will strip the wax off and the oils off. Or if you want to darken it up, you just put a little bit of mineral oil on there, or just carry and use it and it'll naturally darken over time. Anyways, check that out. Of course, Chris Reeve action remains. And I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the nuking, what it involves, and why it's not cheap. But whether it looks like it or not, there's a lot of labor that goes into this finish. And I know some people are looking thinking, yeah, right. But I got to tell you, the first thing I do when I nuke a knife is obviously take it all down. And then I refurbish it all. So I reblast it back to this Chris Reeve factory rougher blast. Right. Meanwhile, I have to protect all your parts. So we could take down any of these knives here, and it still has the, I don't know if we can see it inside there, but Chris Reeve case hardens his titanium by putting a little bit of heat on the lock face. All that remains. The locking surface remains the same exact. Maybe you can see it in there. I've already done a video on this, but it all remains completely protected. The same thing when your blade gets acid stonewash. So all this surface on the whole back is all protected. When I bead blast your hardware, and believe me, that's time consuming in and of itself, all the barrels to the screws are completely untouched, so that's still a factory finish. The only thing that's blasted is the outside surface that you see, because if I was to blast the barrels themselves, it would throw the tolerances off just a little bit, you know. And I don't do anything with the stop pin there, the stop pin sleeve. So, you know, from the outside this looks like a radical modification, but really the insides are exactly the same as Chris Reeve has them. But anyway, so after I bead blast everything, I anodize it, the bronze, but also I'm waiting for somebody to jump on like a blue nuke or a green nuke. You know, that would be pretty cool, I think. I think a blue or green. Maybe even purple. I don't know. I do think bronze probably will look the best, but it would be neat to see what a blue would look like. But anyways, so it's all anodized. It's perfectly even. It looks something about like this, even though this has a little bit of oil on it. This real color here is what you see under that clip where I haven't handled it. But anyways, so it's all even, and then I distress all the corners so it looks like, it aged in your pocket for several years of carrying use and banging around. And then I distress the whole thing by stonewashing it, and I don't just throw it inside a machine. I actually hand shake everything because it's the only way I've found to control the look. And it's still, random, but if you just throw this in the machine, you don't get like some of these marks here. I don't know, there's just a lot more character in it when it's hand stonewashed, I guess you would say. So that's that. And then acid stonewash your blade, or I acid stonewash the blade, and then that in and of itself beats up the edge really hard. So then I'll have to go back and sharpen everything. And you can see all these are literally razor sharp. All pretty much like a mirror. And then pretty much you have to reprofile because of the stone washing and everything. Anyways, so it's a lot of work. I know when you see like 5 or 6 at a time, it almost seems like, yeah, you're just cranking them out and you're easy. But what you don't see is I spent my entire weekend working on these guys. So, it's time consuming. A lot of us guys, I can't speak for everybody, but you don't really do it for the money. You do it because you enjoy to do it and talking to people and whatnot. So that's what it is. I do want to show you how well everything holds up over time. So I'm going to show you my 25 for the nuking. So this has seen a lot of pocket time. When you first get your nuke job, it's going to feel a little bit rougher. This has worn down, and I think it only adds to the look. You can almost see it on camera here. See how this has a little bit more of a matte finish. And then you can see mine has broken in nicely where I've kind of worn away a little bit of the anodizing there from actual use. You can almost see on the corner here. And the same thing with the blade, depending on how you open them. Sabenzas seem to be more prone to this. Where you stick your hand on most knives to open them is right on the top, and then you swing it open. But of course, the Sabenza is not designed that way. You want to get behind the stud and push it with your thumb making contact on the blade. So with the Sabenzas, you get just a slight little like buffing mark here on the acid stonewash. I mean, I really like it. But if it does bother you and you have a nuked blade, just maybe not touch the blade when you open it. Just go like kind of on the side and on the top more. But anyways, the acid stonewash holds up beautiful. I've actually cut out carpet and everything with this blade. I haven't refinished it, refurbished it, or anything. I mean, you can see it's been used, but you wouldn't guess that I was literally cutting carpet out of my daughter's room to lay down laminate floors. You can see these marks here. There's a kind of a good, see that one right there. But it holds up really well. And in my eyes, I mean, I just think the use, adds to the overall look. But anyways, another thing I offer with all my refinishes is refurbishing. So I don't require there's no charge to refurbish. So you have a nuke knife and it's going to hide wear really well, but say you had to cut some sandpaper or something that one day and you just got a big scratch mark and you just don't like it, I can refurbish it. Say if you're really tired of the nuked look or something, I can reblast that back. This is only on the surface. There's no big scratches or dings in this titanium. So all that can be refurbished back to like this if you wanted it. Or you could even go one step farther and go like this. Do like a satin finish. So it's not like you don't have options after you nuke it. I mean, of course, you really wouldn't want to flip back and forth. I mean, but nobody's taking advantage of it, where it's not a problem. If you have a knife that's done by me, I've either done the acid stonewash, Nuked or whatever, and it just needs touched up, or you put a scratch in the blade, or you just want it sharpened or whatever, just contact me and we'll take care of it. So that's it. The cost for nuking, I really don't want to say on video, so just shoot me a PM. I will say it's not cheap, but there is a lot of work that goes into it, and I think most people understand it. So that's what it is, guys. I do appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate my clients trusting me with their high-end Chris Reeves, Sabenzas, and other knives. So that's it. Have a good day. See ya.